Listen, breakups are hard, okay? I know it sucks. You've probably heard from friends or family or seen it for yourself that your ex, special person, is with somebody new. And that anger, the jealousy, the why not me thoughts are just dominating your mind and making you feel even more heartbroken. And in the first instance, I want to remind you that you are human. And these are appropriate thoughts and feelings to have in response to your current reality. And it's okay to have negative feelings when this situation is happening. Even though you know through the power of manifestation that this can be changed, it still hurts, and that is completely okay to acknowledge. And I have discussed this a lot online with clients, which is why I'm making this video, because this situation reminded me of a very important chapter in the Bible where even Jesus wept over the death of Lazarus in 3D. Even though he knew these circumstances were only temporary and he would later raise Lazarus from the dead, this serves as an important reminder that even though how we feel plays an important part in consciously manifesting what we want, it is equally as important to acknowledge how we feel first and then process those negative emotions so we don't confuse manifesting with egotistical control, as I went into a lot more detail in another video, which I'll link in my description box below. And so as not to suppress how we feel, because what we resist persists, which makes those negative feelings and thoughts become so dominant that it is all that you can think about. In fact, it's hard to think about anything else, which of course blocks us from manifesting the outcome that we do want. And Jesus knew this. He knew the importance of expressing how we feel when they are a true reflection of the circumstances we face. This didn't mean he doubted his powers or doubted his ability, because sometimes this is vital to how we are able to manifest the outcome we do want at a later stage. Now, the 3D circumstances are always subject to change, which means your ex being with a third party does not determine whether or not they will return. Even if they are getting engaged and are now married, people change their minds all the time. Marriages unfortunately break apart. Nothing in this world is final, not even death. We also know that the rules of manifestation are pretty clear cut. Right? In order for the rain to stop, we must feel the sun. But right now, amidst this heartbreak, anger, jealousy, you'll be finding it really difficult to feel the end result you want, to feel that healthy, loving union between you both. And that is because your brain will be forming a storyline of self-doubt and loneliness stemming from those dominant unresolved emotions, which have you believing that this current situation is final, but that isn't the case. Your brain wants to keep you safe because this situation is posing as a threat to your psychological well-being, which naturally comes from any breakup or loss we experience. And so by trying to suppress these emotions, by forcing yourself to manifest them back from this vibratory state, is only going to cause more suffering, more separation, and more circumstances you don't want. This is also why I hear so many clients and people on YouTube say, I can manifest a lot of things, why can't I manifest my ex back? These emotions are not being acknowledged and therefore creating a lot of resistance. You see, emotions create our thoughts, which in turn form our assumptions, our mood, which then dictate our actions and behaviours. And specific to heartbreak and grief, your mind and body are trying to process a loss collectively. So it doesn't need you fighting that process or trying to override it consciously, because that is only leading you to exhaustion and stress. So in this instance, the first step we would take to remove that third party situation and to be in a healthy, loving relationship with your ex, your SP, is we want to allow these emotions to exist and to be acknowledged and processed, just as Jesus did over the death of Lazarus. And we must do this before we begin to consciously manifest their return, as we'll discuss in step 2. Because when we resolve those dominant negative emotions, we don't have to cope with the storylines which will be in alignment with those negative emotions and feelings. which are causing your misery and suffering. Now, I say this with love, and you have to hear me on this. You are not letting your ex go by doing this. You are letting all of the resistance which is causing and maintaining the current separation between you and your ex go. By going through this healing process, you will neutralize your vibration. This allows your mind and body the opportunity to express how you really feel about your current 3D conditions, which breeds acceptance, and this instantly lowers the resistance so that you can move forward immediately. So, feel all the feelings, journal all the anger and the jealousy and how you really feel. Get it out of you. But note to yourself that these thoughts, these assumptions and projections of your ex never returning and all of that rubbish are just symptomatic of how you feel due to this temporary breakup and are allowed to exist, but that doesn't make them true. There's a difference. You are just allowing them to be heard, acknowledged, felt, and they will then dissipate. So cry it all out if you need to. This is how the brain releases stress and it's good for you, but get it all out. Now, the situation of heartbreak really serves as a great opportunity for you to love yourself enough to allow yourself to grieve, which is how we heal from these temporary 3D circumstances. And you will have heard this yourself when people say, as soon as I let them go, my ex returned. They didn't actually move on from them, otherwise they wouldn't have returned. What happened is they moved on from the process of letting go of all of those negative emotions, storylines and assumptions about their ex. That is why their ex was able to return and show up differently. And this will be your story soon too. So again, I say this with love and you have to hear me on this. You are not letting your ex go. You are letting all of the resistance, which is maintaining the separation between you and your ex, go. There's a difference. Now, the second step will then be to understand that under absolutely any circumstances do you have to figure out the how your special person will return to you. It is not your responsibility or duty to manifest the removal of any third-party person, to influence a breakup, a divorce, to manipulate, interfere, message, call, or intrude upon this situation in any way in the 3D. It would be impossible for you to guess which path God will either take you on to receive your manifestation, your wish fulfilled, or to bring the desired result directly to you. God figures all of this out for you. Your only responsibility is alignment. And how do you become in alignment with your wish fulfilled? You go to the very end result. This means you don't manifest a text, then a conversation, then the breakup between them and that other person, that third party, then meeting up. No. You go right to the desired end, the desired result, where you are married if you want, where you are already living together, and you see their belongings in your apartment. The very end result is key to creating your wish fulfilled, which I detail in my previous video, which I will also link in my description box below. That is a full step-by-step guide. And you will finally be able to do this because you have processed that heartbreak. So you're no longer carrying around that burden and that storyline associated with you and your ex's breakup, or the past relationship in general, and can live from that state without any disruption or egotistical drive to manipulate the situation, which I know many of you do. Now, any action God will want you to take will always be in alignment with your wish fulfilled. This comes to you naturally and without thinking about it. It is not something that you can guess or come up with yourself, but will always come after you have felt your wish fulfilled within you first. And we know we can trust this as the right move because living out your experience within you first in your imagination puts you in alignment vibrationally with it. Therefore, whatever action you feel inspired to then take is the action you can trust is the right next step, or what God wants you to do, because its source is the wish fulfilled. Remember, nothing can remove your power to create your reality. Nothing. Nothing can stop you from manifesting because we emit a vibration every millisecond of our existence, and how we navigate our world is through feeling. So give yourself grace in this process. We are here to learn how to harness this skill. You have time, as everything is happening within the eternal now. You will not lose an opportunity to bring your ex back, ever. Just follow this process. You are I am, an extension of God. Don't let doubt and fear convince you otherwise, my love. Thank you for all the likes, shares, comments, and being on this journey with me. Welcome to all the new members in the private Facebook group where we regularly have Q&As, and I will link that in the comment section below if you wish to join. And if you want me to help you one-on-one with this journey, you can book me via the link in the description box below. Now, here's what YouTube thinks that you should watch next. With love and forever in the state of wish fulfilled. Ciao.